President Trump is taking action on our southern border with Mexico, signaling a presidential proclamation restricting migrants' right to claim asylum if they try to enter our nation illegally. The White House says the new proclamation invokes the same powers that were used to implement President Trump's 2017 travel ban. Here is the president.
We need Democrat support on new immigration laws to bring us up to date. The laws are obsolete and they're incompetent. They are the worst laws any country has anywhere in the world. And it's only because we don't have the Democrats' votes. We want people to come into our country, but they have to come into our country legally. They have to come into our country legally. We want people to come in through the merit system.
So the president about to sign that. Joining us now is Mark Krikorian, Center for Immigration Studies Executive Director. We saw him as he was getting on the plane to go to Paris and setting up the day. Great to see you today. What do you make of this, and how will it play in terms of the legality of it?
Well, the first thing is almost the legality doesn't matter because some judge in California will just put it on ice anyway. So I'm not confident these measures will actually even go into effect. I think they may be stopped before they even are supposed to go into effect at midnight tonight. But the fact is that these are useful measures, but the effect they're going to have is limited. The point of what they're trying to do is to get these Central Americans who really don't warrant asylum, but use it as a way of getting into the country, to get them to line up at the ports of entry and ask for asylum instead of sneaking across the border and flagging down the Border Patrol. Even if it does that, it's not going to have that much effect on how many people get let into the country and then just disappear. Yeah. That's something only Congress can fix, as the president himself suggested in the clip that you just showed.
You know, it's interesting. We kept talking about, okay, well, once we get past the midterm elections, maybe they'll fix this. I don't know about that, but the president has suggested we do something like a tent city along the border situation. We make detention centers more capable because they're not going to be able to handle however many people out of the 12,000 caravan people coming in our direction they can handle now. It's going to be much more at those points of entry. I'm looking at Utah Senator Mike Lee's Twitter right now, and what he said is that the wave of caravans is enormous. It's unlike anything we've seen in terms of the magnitude. This is not a problem that goes away. So this is not just right now. What do we do? Well, I mean,
the senator's right. This is something that's going to keep going. There's more caravans behind this one. But the reason is not that things are getting worse in Central America. Violence is going down. The reason is we reward people who come in, are coached to say the magic word, and we have to let them go into the United States, and then we don't see them again. If we change that incentive, you're going to see a lot fewer people making this trek. But we can only plug these loopholes and have extra detention space if Congress passes it. This is ultimately basically in Chuck Schumer's lap, because he, as the Senate minority leader, basically has a veto because of the filibuster. He has vetoed any changes to fixing these loopholes. And once Nancy Pelosi or whoever it is becomes Speaker in January with the Democrats, there's basically no chance for 2 more years of dissuading more caravans. This is going to get worse, a lot worse, before it gets better.
You know, I love talking to you about this because you don't do the political thing. So let's talk about what this does to our country as a sovereign nation. The point, obviously, to immigration laws is to limit immigration so that, you know, we only let in a certain number of people. Asylum is kind of a end run around that. We surrender some of our sovereignty so that the person claiming asylum is the one who decides whether he gets in or not us. And because of that, we need to maintain a very high standard, a high bar for that kind of status. And what we've seen over the past number of years is that bar has gotten lower and lower. So people are using it basically as a ruse, as a trick kind of, to get into the country, get past the Border Patrol,
and then, you know, they're home free, basically. ICE isn't going to be looking for somebody who hasn't killed anybody, isn't dealing drugs, hasn't gotten arrested. That person basically is home free in the United States, even though he doesn't warrant asylum. And half the people we let in to apply for asylum never even bother to apply because they know they don't have any case.
Well, we already know that because we have reporting embeds in that caravan coming north. And what some of the people, particularly the men in those caravans, have said is, even though we may not meet the criteria, they're trying to get here because of the economics in their lives, which you can't check that box for asylum anyway, so they'll come in illegally. Mark Krikorian, thank you. Always great to get your perspective on things.
Thank you.